What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Marcus, and today I wanted to give you my first thoughts and impressions of the Monta Oceanking. The King is back. It has been out of stock for I don't know how many months straight, but it's finally back. They released it, announced the pictures and the design this summer, and it started shipping this fall. Beautiful, beautiful watch. I'm gonna talk a little bit about why I went with the Oceanking and a little bit about why I'm so into Monta in the first place. I got the 2-watch Monta roll, the leather roll, and it's got the beautiful pull-out pillows there for my perfect 2-watch collection with the Monta Noble and the Monta Oceanking. The Noble is that perfect go anywhere, do anything watch, which literally I have done for the past 18 months. Beat the absolute hell out of this thing. Let's take a look at the bracelet there. Oh yeah, beautiful scratches all over the place. This thing has been my daily driver every single day. That is my watch. People associate me with this watch. I absolutely love it. Noble is my favorite model in their lineup, and man, I can't wait to see what else they do with that thing. But enough about the Noble. Let's get into the Oceanking, man. What a beautiful, beautiful watch. All right, so first off, let me come out the gate and say I'm gonna be a little bit biased because I do live in St. Louis, and I moved to St. Louis in 2016. And 2016 is when the first version of the Oceanking dropped. So I got a little bit of personal bias towards this watch just for the hometown reasons, and almost feels like a coming of age watch. You know, I'm getting this, I set a goal to buy this watch, so I had been saving for this watch. You know, they had been saying that the Oceanking was getting a fresh look and a new design, and I had been waiting to see what Monta was going to come up with. Since I got the Noble, I'd been waiting on the release of the Oceanking, and I had told Justin, the owner at Monta, that I would be back to come and get the Oceanking. Now, when the SkyQuest dropped, I did not expect to like it as much as I did. Especially that Coke bezel SkyQuest. It was between this Monta Oceanking and the Coke bezel SkyQuest. So it basically came down to why I chose the Oceanking is versatility, you know, lacquer black dial, ceramic black bezel. It's gonna give me that little bit of flash, a little bit of shine to where I could dress it up a little bit more. Obviously the all black is going to be more versatile than the Coke bezel. And honestly, I found that I would use this amazing, I don't know if it's patent pending or if they already got their patents through on this bezel assembly, but this bezel action, 120 clicks, extremely precise. It feels amazing. It sounds amazing. And this bezel action alone almost decided this over the SkyQuest, because the SkyQuest action, you know, you got the bi-directional 48 click and it feels good, but to me the preciseness of that 120 and just the way it feels, yeah, versatility and that bezel were two of the biggest reasons why I went with the Oceanking. And also, you know, had moved here in 2016, and the first edition of this watch came out in 2016. Talking about some of the upgrades or changes that they made from V2 to V3. First thing that everybody likes to point out is the indices and kind of the design language that they have there. They took the indices away from the rehat, put them all the way on the dial. These are much more lume filled and less 3D, but as you can see there, they do stick out quite a bit. So you do get a nice polish from them. Obviously diamond cut, the hands diamond cut, rhodium plated. Finishing on here is absolutely exquisite. First thing I ever heard about Monta was that their fit and finish is absolutely beautiful, and we'll get into fit in a minute, but this finishing on this watch is just absolutely incredible. I absolutely love what they did with the indices. I like what they did with the bezel. They changed the texturing on the bezel. It's a little bit more grippy, like you're not gonna slip off of that. It's just absolutely perfect down to every detail. Probably my favorite detail is that date window at 6 o'clock. I love a date window at 6 o'clock. Monta kind of was the first ones to put me onto that. It keeps the symmetry of the dial while still giving you the function of the date. So you get form and function there. So I absolutely appreciate that. You know, some people like the date wheel to match the dial. In this case, it being white, it makes it look kind of like it's just another indice. So I do appreciate what they did there with the date window. Another one of my favorite upgrades or changes is to the crown. And you can see the logo sticks out instead of, here, let me pull the Noble out so we can show a couple differences. So on the Noble and on the other models in Monta's lineup, the logo on the crown is engraved in, which is nice. I do like that. That looks good. But if we're being honest, I think that this just looks better. I don't know what it is. I just like the way it looks. One of the other bigger updates they made was to the clasp. Now, as you can see, it's obviously a different clasp design. My favorite aspect of it was they took away this little pointed part here and they changed the way in which the flip lock comes up and down. So this one, you know, never had a problem with it. I never really thought it needed an upgrade. And I like the way that feels and the way you can get under there. But this one, it just absolutely blows it out of the water with how easy that thing is to just flip up, come right back. Beautiful polishing on the inside. And you got a 6 position this time, quick adjust. All the way in. They said it accounts for about 2 links, and I believe that. So now you got this mohawk style, a little bit of polishing on the edge there. And yeah, I just absolutely think that was a much appreciated upgrade. You know, they're always doing things where nobody really asked for this class to be updated. It already looked pretty good the way it was. And as you can see, the logo sticks out there as well, whereas it was engraved in on this side. I think that just looks, it's better to me. It looks overall better. They upgraded the rest of the Monta lineup to have this aesthetically looking bracelet. Now the Ocean King is the only one to have 6 positions of micro adjust. The others will have 3. So if you get a Noble, Atlas, Triumph, or SkyQuest, then it will have this aesthetically looking bezel, but it will be about this length. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about the clasp length, because that seems to be a point of contention with Monta, is how long that clasp is. I'll go ahead and put on the Noble for you guys to show you that, you know, see the length of the clasp almost takes up my whole wrist there. See, it sticks out to about there. Just folding under, but you do need that for that micro adjust. I've never had a problem with it. I always thought it was extremely comfortable. That's why I don't put the Everest strap on my Montas, because I think the bracelet is just extremely, extremely comfortable. But let's get down to one of the best upgrades to the bracelet, which was the radius on that clasp. Let's see if I can get in there. So if you look, I don't know if you can see, on the Ocean King, it is just slightly curved. So the length of the clasp didn't change, but they decreased, they decreased the radius so it has more curvature, whereas this one lays a little bit more flat on the wrist. So, you know, they took something that was already an amazing bracelet design and they improved it. So I'll show you how this lays a little bit flat, see if I can get a decent angle on it. See, like, I think that comes down very well onto my wrist. I'm about 6 3/4, 6.5 inch wrist. But yeah, I think that fits great. You know, it curves right down. The whole bracelet articulates, so it fits amazing. But when you put on the Ocean King and the new updated clasp design that is across the lineup, it is just objectively better. That just absolutely hugs the wrist. It really starts to curve down before the bracelet curves down. And even though that clasp is longer, the folding part underneath is the same length. So if that's a point of contention for you, you're like, damn, that clasp is long as shit. If you already have one of the old clasps or one of the old bracelets, it takes up the same amount of real estate on your wrist while feeling 10 times better. They shortened the end links. As you can see, it's a little bit shorter than the lugs there. I don't know if you can see that. Get a little focus. So yeah, the end links are a little shorter, so it makes for a very nice, I don't know, what is it, taper down? But whatever it is, this watch just fits absolutely perfectly. It looks good in any situation. I've had it for 4 days, but I've already worn it to the office, to a speakeasy with my girlfriend, t-shirt and jeans, dressed it up a little bit. And obviously, you know, if I'm dressing up, the Noble's gonna fit into most situations where I'm gonna be dressy just a little bit better because of the high polish surfaces. You know, you got the polish on the inside of the lugs there as well. And this really holds its own when talking about how versatile and how much I can dress it up and dress it down. This thing has been absolutely incredible. And man, I feel like I'm missing a bunch, but I can sit here and go on and on and on about Monta. I did, you know, consider other brands. You know, I did look at Longines, I did look at Tudor, but at the end of the day, you know, I made an appointment with Monta, went up there with Justin, had a couple drinks. He helped me decide between the SkyQuest and the Ocean King, and ultimately, I think I made the correct decision. Drop a comment below if you looked into Monta. Have you thought about them? You got to get them in the metal, man. You got to get your hands on one of these. So if you can get to the shows, or if you live near St. Louis or Indiana, get into one of their ADs, yeah, you got to get this in hand. It's absolutely incredible. That is one thing I noticed is my girlfriend did say, you know, it kind of looks like some of your other divers, but you know, if you really like that, I know how much you love Monta. I think you should go with it. And last night, she was putting her watch away into the watch box, and she was sitting there. I'm laying in bed. She's like, man, your watch looks really good. I said, the new Monta, the Ocean King? I said, yeah, like it definitely stands out. And I think it does. This is a stunner. The design language, you know, it's classic, but it stands on its own. They did enough of their own stuff to where they made it Monta, and it's just incredible. Everything about this watch, you know, I could sit here and spec sheet you to death, but until you get it in hand, until you really feel and wear this watch for, you know, more than getting it in for reviews. You know, some people get these things in for review and they have it for a couple hours and that's it. You know, they put it right back in the box and they send it off. I've had it for 4 days and I feel like I can't give a full review on it. You know, this is just first impressions. And so far, I have not put my Noble back on my wrist. This Ocean King has taken up all of my wrist time, and I think it will for the foreseeable future. You know, eventually I'm gonna get out of the honeymoon phase and go back to sporting the Noble a little bit more. But for right now, this is gonna be my daily companion. Another one of the things I forgot to mention is the solid caseback. You know, I really do like the sapphire caseback that Monta has on the rest of their lineup. You know, they don't have anything super incredible going on with the movement. You know, they got their, God damn, I can't get a good, you got their logo on it, but you know, it's not like we got blued screws or anything super fancy in there, but you know, I'm a newer watch enthusiast, so I do like to get in there and see that movement from time to time. But with this being a watch that, you know, I had set a goal with, it's kind of that special occasion watch. I set a very important goal. I met my goal and I was able to go get this watch once I completed that goal. And so I think to get this engraved would be a very good selling point to why, you know, they stuck with that classic design of the solid case back on these sports, luxury sports watches. And, you know, I like the sapphire case back. I don't necessarily love sticking with tradition for everything, but in this case, you know, I could find a use for it. Get a nice engraving and truly make it my watch. But yeah, I think I'm kind of just rambling at this point. I cannot stop staring at this thing. Build quality on it is exceptional. Customer service from Monta, A1. And to me, you can't beat looking down at something that, you know, was made from your hometown, designed in your hometown. Swiss made watch, but you know, the brand's out of St. Louis. I work like 10 minutes away from HQ, if that. And you know, I'm just really proud of this little thing on my wrist, as silly as it is to say. Most of you, if you're watching this, you probably know how I'm feeling. But if you haven't gotten to check out a Monta, definitely do. Definitely worth your time and consideration. And I appreciate your time right now. So if you like this video, go ahead and drop a like. And, you know, shout out to Monta. Shout out to Chandler, Mike, and Justin, team over there at Monta. Appreciate you guys for letting me come up there and BS with you guys and help me pick out my watch. And, you know, I couldn't be happier with my decision. This thing is absolutely incredible. All right, you guys enjoy your holidays. Merry Christmas.